Hey, thanks for following my YouTube channel and watching this Lightroom tutorial. This tutorial tonight is going to focus on how I import my images into Lightroom and then how I determine which images move to the keep pile or may get kicked to the curb. Follow along as I move through my import workflow, and don't hesitate to leave a comment if you have any questions after viewing this video. When you import photos into Lightroom Classic CC, which is the new name of Adobe's vintage Lightroom Classic CC, you create a link between the photo itself and the record of the image that's in your catalog. Lightroom is a database, so you can't open photos in it the same way you can in Photoshop. Instead, you've got to import your photos before you can view or edit them. The import process adds photos to the Lightroom catalog, and the Lightroom catalog is simply Adobe's name for the program that it uses. And it generates a preview of the image for you to view. So once you import, the images stay in this Lightroom catalog forever, or until you remove them from the catalog yourself. So when importing, you're going to move from the left side of your screen to the middle of your screen, and then to the right side of your screen. The first, on the left, it identifies what files you want to import, where the source of your photos are coming from. Are they coming from your hard drive, maybe an external hard drive, or an SD card? Then in the middle of the window, you choose how you want to import them into the catalog. Do you want to add them, move them, or copy them? And then over here on the right, you're going to specify where you want to store the files. It's the destination folder, and you have other options above when you get to the third side or the right side of the panel. So the library module is the heart of Lightroom. This is where you view your photos, you're going to organize them into collections, and you're going to carry out all of your searches. The library module is your, Lightroom is where the catalog is. It's all the information that you have about your images is in the library module. So importing and viewing your photos happens entirely within the library module. Now the module selector is up on the right-hand corner. If I cancel here, we go into the main screen. You're going to see all of your modules across the top right-hand side. You're going to select the library. Then you're going to come to the left and click Import. It will bring up your import screen. Again, it will show you over here where your source is. Where are you going to find the original photos that are living somewhere on a hard drive, an SD card, or an external hard drive, or even tethered to your camera. So on the left, where are your images? In the right, how are they going to come in? And on the right, where are they going to go? All right, so we need to get some images. So you need to decide where your images are located, because we're going to click the import button. And if this is your first import, you're likely importing probably from your hard drive. But again, you can look for your memory card or connect a camera also. It's best to import, I find, one folder at a time, because then I can organize them as I go. It seems to be more difficult if I import all my images files at one time. I've had it where it took a very long time, depending on how many photos you have that you want to import. So just go folder by folder, and then you can organize later. So when you click that import button, it's going to take you straight to that import window. And again, it's divided up into those different sections that we just talked about. You're going to see, again, where you're getting them from, how you're going to import them, and where they're going to go. So you should already have a thought in mind about how you're going to do your import before you get to this point. All right, so you can copy as a DNG, which you'll see at the very top right here. When you copy as a DNG, that's they're going to convert your RAWs files to a DNG format. This is the most time-consuming option because Lightroom has to first copy all your photos and then convert them to this new format. Or you can copy them, which is this option. If you copy, Lightroom copies your files from where they're at to a new location without changing the file format. And this is good for importing photos from like a memory card, because then it leaves the original file on the card and then it copies them to somewhere else on your computer. You can also move them, this choice. Moving them from their current location to a new one without changing the file format. This does delete the original file after they've been moved. So this is a good idea when you want to move photo files from one folder to another on a hard drive. Or you can simply add, and Lightroom imports your photos into the catalog without moving or copying them from the current location. I use this option when I'm importing from my hard drive and I don't want to change their location. So you have options, and this is something you should work out yourself before you import. Once you begin to build your catalog, you're going to want to maintain that same system, and you're going to want to remember where you're putting all your photos. So when I click import, I've already got my photos on my Mac hard drive or external hard drive where I want them to stay. And then all I do is I add them into my catalog. They're always going to stay on my hard drive, same folder, all the time. I'm not making a copy and I'm not moving them, but it's entirely up to you how you want to do it. Then you're going to figure out where do you want them to go if you so choose to copy or move. And that would be over here on the right, and you would choose where do you want them to go. If I'm moving them off of my SD card and putting them into a folder on my computer, where are they going to go? If I'm going to copy them from my SD card to another folder, where are they going to go? If I'm adding them to my catalog, I don't need to have a destination folder. All right, so everybody have their photo ready. You know what you're doing as far as where you want the photo to go and what folder. If not, pause the video and come back. Okay, so now we're going to make sure you understand that Lightroom makes a note of where the imported files are saved. This is always true, whether you copy, move, or add. The information is always saved in the catalog. Lightroom's going to import all that metadata associated with each picture, and it saves that information in the catalog too. So that's your camera settings, the file name, and everything. And then Lightroom's also going to create a preview of each one of these photos also. The metadata and the file location are saved in the Lightroom catalog. Previews are saved, smart previews are saved, and all of your data files are saved. So Lightroom's giving you the whole shebang. It's saving everything for you, and all of your information will always be there. You just have to keep the photo where you have it on your hard drive, and you'll be good to go. Okay, so now we're going to import. All right, so go ahead and import a photo in. So I'm going to import these 4 photos into Lightroom. They're on my SD card in a folder, and there they all are. They're all checked. You can check all or uncheck all. Uncheck all, none would be imported. Check all are imported. Uncheck and check just 2 will be imported. Am I going to copy, move, or add? I'm going to copy. I'm going to copy them from my SD card into a folder on my hard drive, because these aren't on my hard drive yet. I did not download them off my SD card yet. They're still in the SD card, and I want to put them on my computer somewhere. So it's a twofold process. Where are they coming from? What do I want to do with them? And where are they going to go? So I have folders in my pictures, and that's where I'm going to have mine set. These are all your different file renaming and things you want to do during import. These will be other tutorials that I'll do down the road, but today is basically just about importing. So, import. And you'll watch now as Lightroom is copying and importing those. Copying because they were on my SD card and copying them over to my hard drive. 2 photos came in and they built smart previews for me also. Here are the files that I have in Lightroom. I've got a March 3rd file. I've got these files coming off of my external hard drive, and I have these photos coming in as collections. So now somewhere on my computer is going to be these 2 images in a folder called Pictures, and they're going to stay there. They're still on my SD card, but they're also in my Lightroom catalog. To see the information about each one of those images, I can look down the right-hand side. It's going to tell me all of my settings, details, and information. I like one of these photos and I don't like the other. I want to edit one of these and not edit the other. Now that I've brought them in and looked at them, I can start to choose. If I want to keep it, I give it a yes. If I don't want it, I give it an X. If you use the X on your keyboard, the photo is rejected. Keep. If I hover, photo is flagged. Photo is rejected. If I really like this photo, I'll give it 5 stars. If the photo's okay, I'll give it 2 stars, maybe 3 stars, and so on. I have it set up that I can tell myself what kind of file this is. This is a raw file. I have my little box color coded so I can use a visual of color when I'm looking at photos and not have to read all the time at the top what kind of file it is. It's just something I do. So there's the flag that I like it, the flag that I rejected it with an X. Do I like it? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 stars. It tells me information about my file, here and here. The file resides on my hard drive now, right there. It resides in my catalog, and it's still in my SD card. You would double click. I'm still in library mode. I've just brought that photo up by itself, and I would go to develop, and I could begin editing that image. Okay, so there's a lot of things you can do on the file handling side that we didn't talk about when you import. So when you click import, you're going to see a lot of these options come up over here. There's a lot to go over, and that will be another video tutorial, but I just want you to be aware that there's a lot of options over here, and you could take some time, either Google them or just test them out. Bring in some fun photos that you can kind of play with, and it doesn't matter, how much time you spend on, working on these different things if you're not in a hurry. But just take some time and go in and play around and see what you can do with custom settings and giving some information, some keywords, things like that. You'll be surprised how easy Lightroom is to actually learn if you just practice. But getting these photos in and keeping your catalogs at the same place all the time, not moving your photos on your hard drive once you have a catalog established, I think that will go a long way in getting you set up with a really good foundation before you begin doing any editing in Lightroom. I don't know if anyone is using Lightroom Mobile, but you can't catalog Lightroom Mobile. You're just able to go in there and work on photos, but it doesn't catalog the same as Lightroom Classic CC. So that will be something we'll have to discuss also down the road. So I hopefully this maybe helped a little bit so you can understand how you're bringing photos. It's just really quick overview, not getting into the nuts and bolts of file handling and file renaming and what you can do during import. This is just helping you to get a catalog set up and understand the difference between a catalog and your actual image files out on your hard drive or external hard drive or your SD card. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial. I hope you've learned something. Leave a comment either on this tutorial or back on our Facebook group, Lens Wide Open. All right, good talking to you guys. See ya.